What's up, y'all? It's your boy D-Style, another D-Styles Extra Point. This is vlog 28. Man, 28 vlogs. But I want to talk about the rest of the coaching hirings that Jesse Minter just made this past week. I know we left off talking about some of the hires, especially like the office coordinator and other position coaches, positions. And I want to talk about some other ones as of now. Now, officially, like I said, in the last, I put in the caption this before, I posted one of the videos up last week before the Anthony Weaver hire, who is now going to be our defensive coordinator. And I think that's the greatest thing ever to have him back. Veteran coach that a lot of players loved when he was here in 23 when we went to the AFC Championship. He was a defensive line coach. Now this time he's a defensive coordinator. He won't be calling plays, but he's definitely gonna have a hand, his imprint on the game plan. Jesse Minter of how his defense work, and he's going to probably help out on the defensive line because that's where he specializes at. But I think for sure he's definitely going to make our defense, like I said, defensive line much better, but just the whole overall defense much better and more motivated than ever. You know, this is not a Zach Orr defense no more, where it's look like the players is in bad position, they look frustrated, and they just got to live with it because he's the coordinator. He's not, Zach Orr wasn't a bad person. I hope he gets more opportunities, but he just wasn't ready. He just didn't have enough experiences. And I blame that on Harbaugh, but we already know all about that. But as far as this coaching staff, we got the veteran coach Anthony Weaver, former Ravens player way back in the day in like 2002. He was drafted by them, and he became a coach. He's been a coach for some years now. He was our defensive line coach, like I said, in 23. Now he's back as our defensive coordinator. I'm looking at my pad, coaches we have. And also we hired Marcus Brady, who was also on the Chargers. Marcus Brady will be our pass game coordinator, helping out our offense coordinator, the young offense coordinator, Declan Doyle. He's going to be helping him out with the pass game. He came from the Chargers. I understand that was a Greg Roman offense, but he was the pass game coordinator. I heard his concepts was pretty good. His passing concepts pretty good. Now, he wasn't calling the plays because Greg Roman was calling the plays, and Greg Roman loved running the ball. And you know how he is about running certain concepts that he wants to run. So as far as like passing, and Ravens fans know all about Greg Roman. That's just a whole nother story, another video. But like I said, Marcus Brady, former Chargers pass game coordinator, now worked with Jesse Minter in LA with the LA Chargers. Now will be our pass game coordinator. Tight ends coach, we got Zach Grossi from the Denver Broncos. Also worked with Jesse Minter when Jesse Minter was with the Broncos, I think 23 and 24. Okay, and we got and we got senior offense assistant Joe Lombardi. He was just the coordinator for the Denver Broncos last year. This past season, in what's his name? Sean Payton fired him, but he's not going to be calling plays. But he will be a senior offensive assistant. So basically, our whole overall look at the offense and help out with certain things, probably certain calls, especially because Declan Doyle will be the youngest offensive coordinator in the league, and he's 29 years old. And him being an offensive coordinator, he's the youngest, so he's going to need some help. But he's going to be a great coordinator. I think this ain't going to be no Zach Orr experiment. I think this guy Declan Doyle will be ready to call plays. Just other assistant coaches that's going to help out, since his first year. But it's not going to be like Zach Orr. And and they got a couple, and I know they got a couple other coaches too. Uh, and that's all. That's the coaches I have for right now. I'll probably I'll probably do a part two of this. Like I said, all the coaches I said so far: Anthony Weaver, defensive coordinator; Marcus Brady, uh, pass game coordinator; tight ends coach Zach Rossi, and senior offensive assistant Joe Lombardi. That's on the offensive side. So I'm gonna chop this up to a second part and just talk about the defensive coaches. There's a lot of defensive coaches we just got too. So this is, like I said, I'm gonna do that in part two. This is D-Styles Extra Point Vlog 28, part one. New offensive assistant coaches, and defensive coordinator. But I'm gonna talk about the defensive assistants on next video.